So continuing Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8. I am still using the King James Version, and I'm still using the ERV, easy to read version. So, as we read, remember, this is advice from a king, a father that is a king, to his son. And you guys are kings in the making, because a king is giving you advice, which is the king that wrote the book of Proverbs. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. ERV, my son, listen to your father when he corrects you, and don't ignore what your mother teaches you. So we know that our life might be different from our fathers and our mothers, or it might be similar depending if we follow by example. Since we are creatures of habit, and our fathers and mothers teach us, we might be the byproduct of their behaviors, their lifestyles, their temperaments. So if we see like a father smoking but tells us not to smoke, it's very contradictory because they're not setting the example. Same as if you were to have a mother smoke, but when we look at this is instruction. We have to do what they say and not do what they do. So we do have to be careful with instruction. But in this case, a king, a father that is a king, is giving instruction to a son. Just see yourself as that son or daughter, getting instruction by a mother and a father that are kings. So to read the ERV, my son, listen to your father when he corrects you, and don't ignore what your mother teaches you. So listen to the words of your mother and your father. If there's any wisdom, listen to that. If you're old or older, look back to the information that you see that is wise from your mother and father. Verse 9, King James Version, for they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. ERV, what you learn from your parents will bring you honor and respect, like a crown or a gold medal. So that chain right there is not a chain of bondage, not a chain of oppression, but it is like a gold medal, like the ERV says. It has value, that wisdom, that knowledge. So like these men make this content, create content on YouTube. They want you to have that crown, that ornament on your head, and it plays gracefully, fastened, and also that chain around your neck. They want the best for you. They don't want the worst. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. That's verse 10, King James Version. My son, those who love to do wrong will try to trick you. Don't listen to them. Verse 11, King James Version. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. 11. They will say, come with us, let's hide and beat to death anyone who happens to walk by. So just imagine the people that you hang out with, people that you know, want you to do something bad, something evil, or maybe the people that you hang out with, they're holding you back. You know, like they're sucking the life out of you. And in a sense, you're wasting your own life. You're killing your time. You're killing yourself from being productive. The life that God gave you, the life that He bestows upon you, He gives it to you, and you're wasting it. You're wasting it with people that want to do evil, that want to waste time, that want to do harm to others. I remember Richard Cooper saying that you will become the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. Do you want to hang out with people like this? Or people like that? I think not. I think you want to become the best version of yourself and hang out with the 5 people that will encourage you to climb mountains, to reach your goals and dreams and aspirations. You don't want to hang out with people like this. You want to cut people out of your life that are like this, like that. Verse 12, King James Version. Let us swallow them up, alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. ERV, verse 12. We will swallow them whole, as the grave swallows the dying. King James Version, verse 13. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our house with spoil. Verse 13, ERV. We will take everything they have and fill our houses with stolen goods. Verse 14, King James Version. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. Verse 14, ERV. So join us, and you can share everything we get. Verse 15, King James. My son, walk not thou in the way with them, refrain thy foot from their path. Verse 15, ERV. My son, do not follow them. Don't even take the first step along that path. See, people like Richard, people like Rollo, those that are in these groups, they don't want you to follow the people that will cost you your life, your grave, cause you problems, cause drama. These people want the best for you. They're telling you, don't go that path. That path is bad. It's not worth it. The juice is not worth the squeeze. They want the best for you. So, let's move on. Verse 16, King James Version. For their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. 16, ERV. They run to do something evil, and they cannot wait to kill someone. Verse 17, King James Version. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. ERV, verse 17. You cannot trap birds within it if they see you spreading it out. That is very important. Most of these men that are making this content, they want you to be like the bird that saw the trap being laid out. Whether it be a trap from the people that you hang out with that are bad company, or in relationships with women. They want you to be wise. They want you to properly vet these women. They want you to properly vet the people that you hang out with. They want the best. And for me, I will tell you, properly vet the church you're in, the people that you surround yourself with, the people that are speakers there. Test the words that they say. Is it a trap? Do they want your money? Are they running their church like a business so that they could take from other people? Like if they were sheeps to the slaughter? Are they wanting to drain the people from their wealth? Like I mentioned before in one of my videos, or even if this is the first time I mention it, some churches are run like businesses, and We shouldn't be running churches like businesses. They didn't do that back then. We shouldn't be doing that now. So be like the bird and listen to this wisdom, because you'll be able to see the traps. You'll be able to see the red flags. All the red flags, whether it be with a woman, with friends. Be careful. There could be so many red flags that more than the Chinese Communist parade. We need to be careful and aware, so that we could have that discretion how we tread throughout certain pathways in our life. So moving on, verse 18. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. 18, ERV. But evil people cannot see the trap they set for themselves. Verse 19, King James Version. So are the ways of every one that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Verse 19, ERV. This is what happens to those who are greedy. Whatever they get destroys them. So be careful, like where you go to churches. They could be greedy people. Yeah, they will get what they deserve, but it could also lead them to their destruction. They might even destroy themselves. I, for one, making this channel, don't mind making some money on the side, but I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to be greedy and push something to people, a burden that they cannot bear. I want to help them. I want to help them grow. And of course, I would like to exchange my time for some kind of income, whether it be a tip, whether it be a donation. It's fine. I'll take to the minimum, even a penny. But is that my goal? Is that my desire to make this like a business, to cheat people, like most of these preachers do in churches? No, I'm gonna go ahead and help people out. I will give them solutions. I'll help them out with rewiring their mind and giving them information and my experience on how I rewired my mind, changed the paradigm, go in and change the habits, the temperaments, the lifestyle. Give solutions. I'm not here to give a quick fix. I'm not here to give you some kind of wave of the wand so that everything can be better. It's medicine. It will be sweet to your mouth and it will be bitter to your stomach, but it will help you. It will do you good. So moving forward, the final verse 20. I'm gonna go ahead and read this one. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. Verse 20, ERV. Listen, wisdom is shouting in the streets. She is crying out in the marketplace. She is calling out where the noise crowd gathers. So throughout experiences in life, throughout what's going on in the communities that are aware of Rollo's book, that are aware of Robert Greene's book, there is wisdom. Even in disputes and fights and disagreements, there's wisdom. Wisdom is there. And wisdom is seen as a female, and it's referred as a she. But we should always seek that wisdom. Like we seek, like men, there's men out there that seek women, that chase women. And in these other channels, especially Richard's channel, he teaches how to chase excellence. Instead of chasing women, let's chase wisdom. Let's chase excellence. Let's find understanding so that we could properly vet the churches. We could properly vet our friends, properly vet women. And I know that there's going to be a lot of loss, but there's going to be gain. It's going to be gain of time, gain of being surrounded with the proper woman, and maybe the gain of finding a quality woman, a woman that will submit to a developing or already established king, because this is a book that was written by a king getting wisdom from God. But also remember, this king also had a father that was a king, and he was anointed by God. So we should be listening to the words of this book and seeing it as wisdom from a king to a king. And you should treat yourself as a king. Not to be arrogant and puffed up, but a wise king. Be a wise man. A man that can spew out, or better to say, impart wisdom, proverbs to other people. And maybe their deep sayings, their dark sayings. And that, in a sense, will bring an air of mystery to yourself as a man that carries himself as a king. So anyway, I will end with that note, and hopefully we will continue on. I will start again with verse 20 in my next video, and just to remind you, this is Unchained, and this is the Holy Men Society. Thank you, and God bless.